From Las Vegas, the entertainment capital of the world, it's the Joe Bob Briggs 5th Anniversary Special, all month long on the Movie Channel. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Bob Briggs.
Well, here we are in our third week of the big Joe Bob Briggs 5th Anniversary celebration in Las Vegas, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it, I admit it. Nobody showed up yet for my tribute, and of course we did have that little incident where I was in jail for 72 hours. I won't dwell on that. And then last week my famous blackjack system was exposed by the casino as being the stupidest blackjack system ever invented. Fortunately, I can now drink free at any casino in Las Vegas who want me to use the system at their tables. And then of course Wayne Newton's not returning my phone calls. I thought he'd be here by now, and a lot of people would get discouraged at this point. They would start feeling sorry for themselves, but not me. No siree, Joe Bob. I was thinking to myself last night, maybe the problem here is that you're concentrating too much on your own little feeble, pitiful problems. And what you should be doing is helping other people. And so that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to do something educational for a change. We still have our 5th anniversary movie lineup. All month long, we're showing the most popular movies of the last 5 years on the drive-in theater. Like tonight, our main feature is Caged Fury, one of the finest bimbos in cages flicks since the early 70s, with Roxana Michaels in the familiar story of the nubile young blonde who shows up in Hollywood trying to be an actress, gets propositioned by a sleazeball photographer, kidnapped from a rock and roll club, knocked around by bikers, taken home by a kung fu mercenary, kissed on the lips by Eric Estrada, and most horrifying of all, forced to do a love scene with Jack Carter. Yuck! Classic Women in Cages, though. And then our second feature is the great Linda Blair rooting around in the Chuck Vincent masterpiece, Bedroom Eyes 2. But anyhow, right now, what we're going to do is a consumer service for all the billions of people who will visit Las Vegas this year, and they don't know that you can be very dumb and lose all your money here. And I don't want that to happen. I want you to be very intelligent and lose all your money here. And so here's what you need to do. Here I am in the slot machine area. This is the most popular gambling game in the world, but most people don't study it properly. They just walk up, take a whack at it, don't have any strategy, any plan. They don't have any idea of the science of playing slot machines. They just take out a token, they stuff it in there, and they just mindlessly jerk down on the handle like that. They don't even watch the reels that they spin. Well, you may not realize, unless you're a slot machine expert like I am, that each standard machine has 3 wheels on here. Here, 1, 2, 3. And see that right there, when you figure out all the different kinds of things that are on these 3 wheels, that gives you a total of 8,000 combinations every time you pull that handle. And then if you move on up to one of these big 4-wheel machines that they have now, that gives you 160,000 possible combinations. You see the odds against you? You know what I mean? Let me explain this. First of all, my recommendation would be that you don't play anything larger than a 3-wheel slot anyway. Why, you might ask? See, all amateurs ask this question. Because on a 3-wheel slot, a skilled competitor can keep all combinations in his head at all times. For example, what are your standard slot machine symbols? Let's look at this. You got your lemon, right? We all know what that is. That means you don't get diddly squat. You got your cherry, of course. You know, you got your 1 cherry payoff, your 2 cherry payoff. You got your orange, your plum, your bell on here, your melon. 3 melons pays off 100 quarters. Then you got your bar, your 7, of course. Then you got all your combination things on there, like your bell bar, your melon orange. Now, let's look at what happens when you fail to take all these combinations into account. Stick it in here, pull the handle. See there? No plan, no strategy, no result. A blind man could have made that play.
Excuse me, but who told you you could use this machine?
Nobody told me I could use that machine. I just walked up and used it.
This is my machine. I was just getting change. You can ask anyone around here. This is Laverne's machine. I always play this machine.
All right, okay. Fine, no problem. Use that machine.
And don't use any of these other ones.
How about this one here? Any of your family members using this machine? Thank you. All right, what I'm trying to tell you is know your slot machines. Know what you're doing. Get a feel for each machine. If it's a loser, don't be embarrassed to move right on to that next machine. But don't be a sap. Don't be a slot degenerate. Don't be an addict. Can y'all hold it down over here? I'm trying to do a show here. Don't be like some of these women who come in here and they're so superstitious they believe they have to play their machine and know when to quit. In the long run, you can't really beat one of these one-armed bandits. They're always going to take you to the cleaners. So y'all watch the movie, and then I'll be back with more valuable advice from Las Vegas, home of the Joe Bob Briggs 5th Anniversary Month celebration.
Are you Mr. Briggs?
Yeah, that's me.
I thought I recognized you. I'm Gloria Fenwick, Assistant Vice President for Interstitial Programming at the Movie Channel. I've just arrived from New York and I understand there are some problems with the show.
Are you kidding me? Are you really from the Movie Channel?
Assistant Vice President for Interstitial Programming.
Well, what is that, porno films or what?
Interstitial programming is the term we use for shows like yours. It's not stitial, it's interstitial.
Well, you are the lady I want to see. Do you know what's happened to me? You know, first I come here for my 5th anniversary tribute show and there's nobody that shows up to tribute me. And then I get kicked out of my hotel room because nobody has a credit card.
I can explain that. We did have a VIP suite reserved for you, but one of our stars was in Las Vegas at the same time, and we had to use it for other purposes.
Other purposes?
Yes, we're doing an interview with Eric Estrada.
You gave my room to Eric Estrada?
Well, Mr. Briggs, Mr. Estrada is on the A-list.
The A-list? What is the A-list?
He's a major celebrity, and we felt that in view of your declining ratings...
What declining ratings?
They didn't tell you yet? Forget I said that. My point is that we did have a room for you and would have been very glad to give it to you after Mr. Estrada left, but by then you were already in jail.
Yeah, I was, and you wouldn't send the bail money. I spent 3 days there.
I can explain that. It's not that we were insensitive to your situation, but we were having budget meetings that week, and it was hard to justify a $3,000 expenditure when we were being forced to cut back on standard items like Robert Osborne's wardrobe. Also, we had a negotiation going with Gilbert Gottfried.
What negotiation?
Hasn't Alan told you any of this?
What negotiation with Gilbert Gottfried?
Well, I'll let Alan talk to you about that. We just felt that since Gilbert Gottfried has such enormous name identification as a late-night movie host, we should offer him a place at the Movie Channel.
So you took my bail money and you gave it to Gilbert Gottfried?
Well,
is that it?
No, well, I guess the answer to that would have to be yes. That is what we were doing.
All right. What are you doing here? Did they just send you here to torment me or what?
Not at all. I'm here to give you the message from all of us at the Movie Channel that you have our unqualified support and our warmest wishes on your 5th anniversary as America's tallest late-night movie host.
Great. Wonderful. Well, okay, what about my celebrity guests? You know, we were supposed to have celebrity guests. That's the whole reason we came to Las Vegas in the first place.
Yes, that is another thing I need to talk to you about. We've had to cut back on the whole celebrity guest concept. In fact, I'm not sure we'll be able to finish out the month. You see, we've spent a lot of money so far on frills.
Frills? What frills?
Well, you have 2 cameras here. I think any prudent businessman can see that you can't actually use more than 1 camera at a time now, can you?
We'll try not to be so extravagant in the future. Anything else?
Yes. Are those your quarters?
Yeah.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to take possession of those.
You're not
Alan says we need collateral for the bail money.
You're not taking my slot machine money.
Also, I couldn't help noticing that string tie you're wearing.
It's called a bolo tie.
Do you think that might have a cash value?
I don't believe this.
I also have to tell you, we've made an executive decision about your hat. We feel that a cowboy hat doesn't quite fit the image of the Movie Channel.
Oh,
We're going
doesn't.
for a more upscale, a slicker concept. We'd like you to try on some silk shirts. Well, not real silk, of course. That would be too expensive. Mr. Briggs? Are you listening to me, Mr. Briggs? I hope you're gambling with your own money.